Hi, I'm Steve Ledoux. I'm the town manager here in Acton, and welcome to the Acton Agenda. This is a show about the upcoming Board of Selectmen meeting, which in our case will be Monday, November 7th at 7 p.m. in room 204 at Town Hall, which if folks have been doing the early voting, that's the room you've been voting in, and early voting actually has been quite successful. We have actually had over 5,000 people vote so far at early voting today. Well, today is Friday the 4th. Today is the last day for it. With me today is Franny Osman. Franny is one of the Board of Selectmen, and I just want to remind everybody that this Sunday or the Saturday night, or I guess Sunday 2 in the morning, everybody, you need to turn your clocks back, because if you show up at the Selectmen's meeting and you haven't, you'll be an hour early. So, at any rate, welcome Franny, and
thank you.
Let's talk a little about the agenda, what some of the items are that the board is going to be talking about on Monday evening.
Great. So. I'd like to go through the agenda. After citizens' concerns, which people are always welcome to bring, will be the chairman's update. Peter Berry will give his update, and you will give an operational update.
That's right.
And then we have, under public hearings and appointments, we have one item. We have a public hearing on the site plan special permit and use special permit for Idlewild Farm. Can you tell us about that?
Sure, and first of all, this was going to be the last Selectmen's meeting, but because site plan special permits require what is called a supermajority, which means 4 out of the 5 selectmen have to vote in the affirmative, we couldn't get there. Actually have 4 people vote. Selectman Berry was out, and you yourself have are in a butter, so you can't really participate. But this basically is a proposal from Idlewild Farm to do an expansion for food preparation. As many folks know, they do a lot of food preparation, sandwiches, all kinds of things. So this would be an addition to deal with that. So the board will hold a public hearing. We've had a few comments from some neighbors, some concern about delivery hours, noise, any type of outside lighting that we should be aware of. And as you know, the board can put some conditions in a site plan special permit, like lighting has to be downward, for example, and things like that. So the board will consider whether their request is in keeping with the kind of development we'd like to see in town, and issue a permit or put conditions on a permit or whatever the case may be. So
I think this, from my memory, I haven't studied this site plan yet, but from my memory, there long ago was an ice cream store at that location. I feel like right to the left of where Idlewild is, there was an ice cream stand in
Really? How many years ago was that?
I don't know, when I moved to town about 21 years ago,
Really?
I remember
Okay.
they were selling ice cream, not Idlewild necessarily, and there were other uses in the past, but it's that left part of, when you're looking at Idlewild to the left, where that parking lot is, I think that's where it is, but I haven't studied the site plan yet, but
Okay.
So that's that site plan. And then under Selectmen's business, there's a discussion of the Finance Committee's point of view, which they shared with us.
Right, and this is a draft because at the last Acton Leadership Group, which is a committee consisting of 2 members of the Selectmen, 2 members of the Finance Committee, 2 members of the School Committee, the school superintendent and the assistant superintendent, and myself and our finance director. They presented a draft point of view, and the task was to bring it back to the Board of Selectmen and School Committee for comments. So in essence, the board will be seeing it Monday night, and will have the ability to comment. In a real nutshell, the Finance Committee is suggesting that for FY18 budgets for both town and school should grow at 3.3%. That $1.6 million be used towards the budget. That we do not tax to the maximum under Proposition 2.5. We keep about $985,000 in tax relief, so to speak. So we're not taxing to the max. So we've been, as town staff, kind of crunching the numbers in the ALG plan, so we will show to the board Monday night what that means, and then we'll have a further discussion now that I believe the school committee talked about it Thursday night. I don't know what they said because it's Friday morning as we tape this. This coming Thursday, the 10th, we'll be discussing this a little further at the ALG
Acton Leadership Group.
correct, and see what kind of any consensus that may come out of it. The Acton Leadership Group works on consensus, so that if all three entities have consensus, they bring it back to their respective boards. So it's one way how we can kind of work out budget differences or things like that. So it's a very unique forum, and one I think solves a lot of problems and not causes floor fights at town meeting. We kind of avoid it because the three major boards work to consensus.
Come to consensus beforehand. I think
Right.
it's wonderful. I feel very proud of that, and I've seen a lot of improvement in the speed at which we get the budgets through at town meeting. And I even heard conversations when we were taking that site walk the other day. People from Concord were sort of asking, so tell us about your Acton Leadership Group and how does that work? Because
Right. No, I've worked in other towns, and I can tell you that it does solve a lot of problems. You don't have a lot of contentiousness at town meetings.
That's great. And then there's a CPA, Community Preservation Act application, presentations, and priority review.
Right.
I know. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So this is the time of year where our Community Preservation Committee starts taking applications to consider projects to be appropriated from the Community Preservation Act at our April town meeting. And Community Preservation Act allows for expenditures for open space, for historic preservation, for affordable housing, and recreation. So what the board is going to see Monday night is some applications done by town departments and asking the board to either approve them for submission or not. And we may talk about priorities. I'm not sure yet. The projects that have been submitted so far, and there may be some more coming in between now and Monday night, are one, an expansion of the parking lot at NARA. Anybody who's been up to NARA on a hot summer Saturday or Sunday, you really find it hard to park. There's some concern that when the Bruce Friedman Rail Trail opens, and it's going to go right by NARA, folks are going to want to park their vehicles and maybe access the rail trail from there. So the proposal that the board will be, one of the proposals the board will be seeing on Monday night is the area by the lower parking lot that right now is a beach volleyball court, that be converted, I think, to 40 parking spaces, and the volleyball area get relocated to someplace else. So that's one of the projects. Another project is that is being requested is to develop a bathroom facility for the picnic pavilion. The picnic pavilion opened about a year and a half ago, I think.
That's wonderful.
And it is very popular, but it is a bit of a hike if somebody has to use facilities. So that is another proposal. And then there's some more a proposal that's an improvement on a NARA with the Cedar Grove and some kiosks and things like that. So I know you mentioned to me earlier the Open Space Committee may be requesting, I think, $500,000 for open space acquisition.
Yeah, every year we ask for some to go into the open space set aside.
Correct, yeah. So there may be some others coming. These are the ones we know of right now. So folks that may be interested, stay tuned. There may be a couple more projects that may be in front of the board Monday night after we tape this. Things may come in as well. So.
Great. And we just give our recommendations to the CPA committee.
Right.
They have the ultimate decision.
Right, because at town meeting, it has to be their recommendations that go on the warrant, that go to town meeting. So typically, if there's a lot of town projects, they may ask the board to prioritize. Peter Barry is the selectman's representative on the Community Preservation Committee, so he will advise whether we should be doing priorities or do priorities at a later date.
All right. And that's it for the selectmen's business. And then there's a consent agenda, which has things that we probably won't need discussion on. And
Correct.
they include, should I name what
Sure, you can go through it if you'd like, sure.
Well, it's the usual request to dispose of obsolete material from the library, Acton Memorial Library, a private way plowing schedule, an acceptance of a donation from Dunkin' Donuts of Acton, totaling $167.96 for products used at the cemetery tour on October 30th, which I heard it didn't happen because
Yeah, I believe.
Bill Clower, the leader, was ill.
Yeah, he was ill, correct.
And I was sorry to hear that. The police department also sent a gift, and I'd like to say thank you for these. I'm always thinking at our meetings we rush through this, and we often don't have time to publicly acknowledge these gifts. From the police department, the board, so this is a gift from the police department.
I believe so.
To the board. It said the board will accept a gift totaling $3,500 to support the effort providing programs that make a difference in the lives of children in school or after school. We should clarify whether that's a gift to the police department.
No, I think it's a gift from the
From the police department?
I
From the staff?
I am not really sure.
Well, we can find out by Monday.
Right. I'll have to back up with that. Okay.
And a one-day alcoholic license for Congregation Beth Elohim for December 10th. A committee appointment for Anping Lui, L-U-I, for an associate member becoming a full member for the planning board. And that's it for the consent agenda.
Okay. And I just want to point out that upcoming meetings, particularly the November 21st meeting, we're going to have our annual tax classification hearing where the Board of Selectmen kind of decide if there's going to be a single tax rate for the town, or we would have a separate tax rate for commercial industrial. We'll have a discussion with our consultants about the feasibility of bringing sewers to West Acton, and also be going through all our license renewals, all the entities in town that need licenses, all the liquor licenses and things like that. So it'll be a big meeting. And then December 5th, we're slated to have a discussion on a dog park for Acton. There's been a lot of sentiment about the town should be developing a dog park, and the board will hear a proposal about maybe creating a committee to study it.
That's great. I'm really happy to hear that.
So that's our Acton agenda for this upcoming meeting of November 7th. Once again, I thank Franny for being on the show, and I'd like to thank you for watching, and don't forget to turn your clocks back Saturday night before you go to bed. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.